check out this clip from his interview with CM Punk, where Punk never one to be afraid of a little controversy, or never one to be afraid to stir the shit up a little bit. Check out this clip.
There's always been people who have gotten to a certain level,
right,
and they're almost taught, and the culture is fostered for them to believe that they need to make sure nobody else gets to that level. They don't want anybody to, quote unquote, steal their spot. Throwing my name in the hat with somebody like Steve Austin, who arguably biggest star business has ever seen, right?
Easily.
A lot of this is subjective, though, right? Like, you can make the argument like, oh no, well, Hulk Hogan's a bigger star than Steve Austin, but then you look at business periods and eras and box office receipts and like all that other stuff. I think Hogan's a piece of shit, so obviously I'm going to be like Steve Austin, yay. Right. But that's another podcast.
That's right. We got CM Punk back in the wrestling business. CM Jesus Christ Punk. And he's talking shit, calling Hulk Hogan a piece of shit. I love it. I fucking love it. Because Hulk Hogan is a piece of shit, by all accounts, right? So for CM Punk to call him a piece of shit, that's great. It's fun. But it's that taste of that edgy CM Punk. You know, Punk just doesn't give a shit. He never has. He's always been outspoken. He's always been opinionated. And he is somewhat of a dick. Can be. You know, he's playing Mr. Humble and Mr. Nice Guy, and I believe that. I'm not saying he's pretending or anything like that, but he has it in him to just fucking destroy people. We've seen it time and time and time and time again. It's one of the things that we love about Punk. And it's not something that he's doing right now, but it will be something that he'll eventually end up getting to. You know, he said in his promo on Dynamite, people want me to be angry CM Punk, or have a chip on my shoulder, be a heel, essentially, be a bad guy. And he's like, well, be careful what you wish for, because someday you're probably going to get that, and you're going to regret it. I was looking at this promo, and Punk's gotten universal praise for his promo on Dynamite. And in my opinion, I feel like being just the happy-go-lucky babyface that's happy to be there on the reunion tour, so to speak, it's not working for him. And this is CM Jesus Christ Punk. I love CM Jesus Christ Punk. He's one of my heroes. But at some point I think he's just a natural heel. At some point he's gotta rub up against somebody the wrong way and then just be a fucking dick. Because I think eventually that's where we're gonna end up. But right now it's fine. You know, as long as I have full faith that he's not a one-trick pony in this little Love Fest reunion tour, as Taz put it with the Love Fest. Eventually, yeah, that'll come around and things will change. But for right now, it's fine as long as it transitions and, gives Punk a chance to work with the guys on the undercard. But yeah, I'm excited to see some shit. And, both these interviews with Barstool, great. Again, Brandon Walker, great job. Both these guys, Punk and Bryan, say the same thing. They want to work with these guys in AEW. There is unlimited, and especially if you're a guy like Punk, Bryan's starting at the top, working with Kenny Omega, the champion, and then you got Punk in the opposite direction. He's working with Will Hobbs, and that's by choice. There are people that are like, why the fuck is he working with Will Hobbs? Because CM Punk wants to. That's why. And you could criticize that, but don't criticize the booking. Like, well, they don't know how to use Punk. He should be in the main event. Blah, blah. He'll get there. He'll be in the main event, but this is his game plan. I want to come back in, and I want to work with a lot of these young guys. And he doesn't need to be in the main event. And he can start at the bottom of the roster and be humble like that. He'll get there. He's going to be around unless he gets, severely injured somehow, some way. Time will tell on that. And same with Bryan Danielson. He's been injury prone. Hopefully we see a nice, solid, incredible run out of both of these guys before, age and time and injuries takes their toll. But I do believe this will be probably their last runs. I wouldn't be surprised if Danielson had one more run in WWE after, because he seems pretty still in love with them. He's just more excited by AEW right now. I don't remember if it was Punk or Danielson that said in their interview where they're like, we're just excited to play with our new toys that we have right now. And that's really how they're looking at it. They're just like, ooh, that looks like fun. Because they're wrestlers. And Punk talked about in his, the wrestling is, when he wasn't, burying Hulk Hogan, he he was talking about how wrestling is art to him. And, Will Hobbs is a different paintbrush or a different type of paint. There's oil paints, there's watercolor, there's thick brushes, little tiny ones, whatever the fuck they use. So that's how he's kind of describing it. And Hobbs is different from a Darby, is different from a Bryan Danielson, and he wants to work with all of these people, and we're gonna get to see all that, and it's gonna be super exciting. I'm fucking here for it. I love great wrestling matches, and I love great, exciting characters and stories along with it. So I'm game. Let's see what we got. And go out of your way to check out Barstool Rasslin's interviews that they've been doing. They got a lot of great content in general. They've got one with Tony Khan a couple weeks ago, I believe. Just lots of good, solid interviews, fun interviews, different types of questions, that kind of thing. But man, to nail Bryan Danielson and CM Punk back to back like that, just boom, boom, here's our fucking, just slap them out there, these kind of interviews, had to take a look, had to cover them here on the show. So you have to go check them out yourself.
Let me tell you something, brother. You can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on this channel, dude. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to take your vitamins and say your prayers, brother.